It is incredible to see the Bulls' conviction in the play, getting slammed and manipulated down to the lower targets only for it to allow more buyers to step up to the plate and take the asset back to its original topside target by end of the after-hours session. Welcome back to the channel on this happy Friday. This is ARCa, and let's dive into ticker symbol FNGR. Let's kill it. What is up, you guys, and thank you so much for stopping by once again. Let's go ahead and dive in to ticker symbol FNGR, and I want you to go ahead and notice all of these green lines right over here. I'm not going to go through every single time frame, but this is what we observed today during the live stream. We got several shots of manipulation here using the very popular ARQ composure algorithm that we just released. Okay, so please, if you are still interested to being one of the ARQ holders, go ahead and get in touch with me at arqindicators@gmail.com, right? And we'll go ahead and get you that information and get you situated. So let's go ahead and get this moving, right? Let me just make sure that this is big here, just so that you can see, right? arqindicators@gmail. So yeah, team, huge amount of manipulation during that shot to the downside. We were talking about a potential drop to the area of 622 live, right? It's really funny, but then we just got that bounce from 623. Huge miss, right? But it's okay. It's okay. No problem, right? We ended up still capitalizing on that top side nonetheless, right? So now going up to the minute time frame, I was talking to the stream and to the chat when this was happening, right? So this was that shot of the blue triangle signals that there is presently an end to a current trend, right? So we were speculating on the fact that this triangle could be coming up because we were in a huge downtrend, and also the potential that we faced an uptrend and then it started printing it. So we had a little bit of speculation that it could go back down before it goes back up, right? But somebody asked me, what does that mean? And I said, you know what? Actually, I think this means that this signal or this trend is currently over, and we're getting the first signals that there is an uptrend coming in, followed by the yellow triangle to tell us that the EMA2 crossed upside of the EMA8, and that would signal a continuation to the upside paired with all of these yellow diamonds, which suggests continuation, right? So that is, I said it live. I said, what is really interesting and really awesome to be able to see the algorithms work on the fly and work live, right? And they're definitely putting in their magic and helping us move through the days, right, team? So I absolutely am excited to have shared this with you today. Awesome experience. So let's go ahead and you know what? Something is going down. I know that the image says a $7 close, right? And that's for a reason. That's because I think it was a Robinhood, and I think maybe Moo. Let me know in the comments below. But Robinhood for sure has a 7 close. Webull has like a 684 or 685 close. TradeStation has a 691. TradingView has a 691 here. So it's really curious to see all of these different ending prices here, right? So yeah, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below what the closing price is for your broker. I'm curious to see what TD says. I'm curious to see what Schwab is. I'm curious to see all of those. Please go ahead and share those targets, and we'll be able to see how crazy of an arbitrage there is there, right? So anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next chart here and take a look at this. First of all, let's go ahead and pull up ARQ DBSI, right? So DBSI is that statistical indicator that takes into account every candle closed upside of the EMA 13 and every candle closed beneath the EMA 13, and that gives you a cumulative score right up here, right, or that average score, right? So notice that the Bulls are in the lead with a 79% over the Bears at a 21% on the 30-minute time frame, so it's still looking mighty bullish for the FNGR Bulls. Okay, team, so here is, let's see, here's the daily chart where we are absolutely bouncing off of that SMA 50, which is critically important for critically important for the asset's turnaround and continuation as a bull cycle, right? So of course there's going to be some ebb and flow here and there. I mean, very clearly looked at today, right? So dropping down to that 623 level. But yes, just know for a fact that there is an uptrend happening, right? I understand that the immediate short-term time frame, literally speaking, from right at this point here, we had a little bit of a downside in volume here, but then we immediately picked up when we started to look at today's price action, right? So we got that huge upside to the $7 target and just slammed back down. It was curious to see how that price action happened today, right? So now moving on to the next chart here, this is a 12-hour time frame that does take into account the after hours price, right? So notice here that we have an upside pivot on stochastics. We have now expansion starting on volatility, and notice this. We have another candle closing upside of the Gaussian band of the 12-hour without the touch of the wick down to this area or below. So very clean closure if you can't see it, right? Some people are on the phone. This is what I mean right here. This is the bottom side wick, and this down here is the Gaussian top, right? So this is very bullish for the asset to do. And actually, it does signal a continuation to the upside, other than the fact that this is a kind of a bull flag here in the 12-hour, right? Silly formations lead to silly upside targets. Anyway, team, let's go ahead and move on to the next chart and see what we have. Okay, so this is what we spoke of yesterday. We were waiting for the weekly close upside of the SMA 10, and we absolutely got it at 663 at traditional market close, right? So we're going to see the implications of this closure, of this bullish closure, on Monday. Okay, the oscillators do not take into account the after hours activity when you're observing the daily and up time frames, right? So now let's move on to the next chart here and take a look at this. This is arguably, I just don't like that we have such a long wick here, but this is a 3-hour, three white soldiers here. It is suggesting a continuation to the upside, and I mean, to tell you the honest truth, guys, I know that we just topped at $7 again towards the end. It's just telling me that we're knocking at that door, and we're really trying to push through it, right? So that's telling me that there could be a continuation to this upside here, specifically looking into Monday and Tuesday. So let's go ahead and see if we can validate any of that. This is the ABCD strategy that we've been observing here, and of course we still have this upside pivot here. And please remember that this target was the first one that we were talking about just yesterday. Statistically speaking, we were set to reach the move of 30. I think it was 33.4%. I think it was. Let me see. It was 33.4% was the average upside thrust based on several iterations throughout the entire trading history of the FNGR asset. And that would be, 20 iterations, of which 17 were guessed correctly to the upside, giving us an 85% upside accuracy and an upside thrust, aka a mean of 33.40. Please notice right here that the 33.40 was coming up to a target of, what was it? Let's go ahead and highlight it, 701. And we touched today 2 times the target of $7. What do you know? We got the top side of the statistical mean here, and now we can observe the potential of reaching further targets, specifically the standard deviation of 35.12%, which would lead price action just slightly higher, maybe 704, 705, right around there, right? But the one that I'm really curious of would be the upper bound of the first standard deviation of 68.52%, which would land right in here, right? And that would take us to a target of about $8.84, which is very confluent to the 882 on the 2.618. So now this entire backtest that I'm doing here is something that you would learn in the ArcMastersCourse. Okay, so I definitely opened up just about a week and a half ago. I opened up 30 seats. I think around 18 or 19 actually now just have been taken. So please go ahead and get in touch with me at ArcMastersCourse@gmail.com, because this is going to be a 16-week mentorship program and a charting program. So please go ahead and get in touch with me and get enrolled to this before it's too late, because I promised myself that I wasn't going to do it again, but I got some emails that were very disturbing from retail participants, and it's obvious that we can share some more of the knowledge, right? So yeah, definitely get in touch with me there and get enrolled. We'll pass you the entirety of the information. The ABCD strategy here is obviously still in play. Let's see if we can actually make this top side happen, right? So volatility is still within the bounds of the in between the bounds of the critical expansion and critical contraction, and still have an upside pivot on stochastics. That means that the signal is still fired, and we are rightfully so. We can see upside targets still. We can observe them. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the last chart here, and this is going to be the RSI. So please notice here the RSI in the 30-minute may be in a little bit of danger just because it's in the gravitational zone, but the SMA 14 and the RSI signal both have an upside pivot here, and it looks pretty convincing. Next thing we want to look at here is, same situation here with the bi-hourly time frame, except that the bi-hourly is crossing an upside of the SMA 14, so it may be able to use that SMA 14 as a short-term pullback before a continuation to the upside. I have to be honest here. I am not seeing any time. Okay, maybe the 5-minute time frame, which would introduce a tiny pullback. I think it would be anywhere between the targets of about 680 and 685 as per let's see. Actually, no. Yeah, 680 to 685 would be the pullback target. We've been pulling back into that target so many times over the last week, right? We've been using it as resistance, as support, all kinds of crap there. Right, so now 4-hour time frame is just outside of the gravitational zone here, suggesting an upside continuation and bouncing from that SMA 14 as support, looking very nice. And let's see, this 6-hour time frame is it's just outside of the gravitational zone, so this may be able to get away with a continuation to the upside. There's definitely this has an upside bias, of course, but it's right within the gravitation of the bull strength and the bull weakness. So we're going to have to see how this continues to the upside, but it may show a little bit of weakness in here. We'll just have to observe this, right? So now the bi-daily time frame is experiencing a little bit of a pullback here. We're going to have to see how this and the 3-day and the 5-day react once the shorter time frames start to show their pivots and their true colors, right? So I do think that there is a probability here for a continuation to the upside in the immediate short-term time frame with a small pullback to around 680 to 685. Okay, team, now you know the targets. Now you know the whole plan. I love it. I love it. I love it. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Never, 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 forever. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well a very, very good weekend, and I will catch you at the bell on Monday. Adios. Yeah.